The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks. Welcome back to Go to Health Media. Today we're talking about your general health care. Too many Americans don't think about their health until they're sick. According to a 2024 study by U.S. News and World Report, that's this year, a little over half of the adults surveyed have recently seen a primary care provider, but many are not getting the preventive health screenings and checkups they need. By staying proactive with annual checkups, Americans can better their chances of maintaining good health and catching potential issues before they become serious problems. These annual check-in appointments include preventive care, vaccines, medication reviews, chronic disease management, as well as mental health evaluations. So get your annual checkup. To help us today with why seeing your primary care doctor on a regular basis is important is Dr. Gregory Whisman, who is the Chief Medical Officer of Carelon Health. He oversees the medical staff and the management services organization responsible for care delivery for the chronic complex patients. In addition to his medical degree, Dr. Whisman has experience in family medicine and earned a Master's of Business Administration degree in Strategy and Operations Management. Welcome to the show, Dr. Whisman. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So tell us, why is getting an annual appointment with your primary care doctor so important?
Well, I think I would start with, first, it creates that partnership. So you develop that medical home as you're getting in and seeing your primary care provider. So you've got a home base. Secondly, that visit gives you the opportunity to screen for a multitude of diseases and make sure that we're catching them early on and they're not becoming larger health complications, more costly, more expensive, and leading to worse outcomes.
Got it. So what should be included in a checkup when I go to see the physician?
Well, first on the way in, we're going to screen your vital signs and check and make sure your blood pressure is okay. Blood pressure is still a silent killer out there. About 90% of people don't know they have it. Then a clinician is going to review your medication list. They're going to see if there is any chronic conditions that we need to either refer you to somebody or that need managed tighter. We're going to look at your vaccination history, see if there's any vaccines that you are due for. We're going to do a head-to-toe physical, and then we're going to see if there's any other screenings. So we may need to draw your blood sugar level or your cholesterol, or order a mammography for women that are due for breast cancer screening, or colorectal screening or cervical cancer screening. So really getting upstream of those diseases.
Great. Now, you mentioned before vaccines. I've done a couple of other shows in vaccines, and some of the responses, unfortunately, I've gotten is, oh, it's poison, it's not proven. Can you tell us how vaccines are approved and created and how safe they are and why we should be getting vaccines versus avoiding them?
There certainly is a lot of vaccine hesitancy, I think, really that has materialized over the last 4 years since COVID. And a lot of that came out of, it was a new type of vaccine, and really we had been told the vaccines took a really long time to produce, and these were produced rather quickly, though the technology had been around for a while. Vaccines are not new in general in concept, and have been around and been tested time and time again and improved. So they have really, like the flu vaccine is very, very safe at this point, tried and true and tested. A multitude of those vaccines are. The vaccine schedule is intense, and I know some parents get nervous with their kids. There's something on the order of 70 some vaccines they get within the first 2 years. And so those are options that you can talk to your provider about. Perhaps there's an adjusted schedule that you could go on. So, really providers want to meet patients where they are It is not to thrust upon you any unnecessary vaccinations or testing. But so that's an opportunity really to have that conversation with your provider and make sure that you're being protective and proactive. Vaccines in general, they work to prevent the disease or mitigate how bad you get it. So for instance, with flu, we know for years that flu, and everybody's heard, well, they got it right this year and it did a really good job, or they missed the actual mix of the genetics and it's just slightly off. But the people that got the flu vaccine got it about 50% less. It's less severe, lasts shorter than people that didn't get vaccinated. So it can help attenuate just how bad you get when you get ill.
Good. Thanks so much for that explanation. That's great. It's really good to know. Another question I have, I see so many urgent care centers and clinics popping up. How does the primary care doctor fit into today's healthcare model that's trending toward these clinics? Should I be going to the clinics or should I be waiting to see my doctor? How should I handle this?
Well, let me answer your question by saying yes and yes. The emergency room and the urgent care centers are an important part of our health ecosystem. They are great for those acute needs, those really emergent needs that need to get in and need service right now. I don't want to encourage anyone that has symptoms of a stroke, a heart attack, severe abdominal pain from going to the emergency department. That's the appropriate venue for those type of things. But for that longitudinal care, I need my blood pressure adjusted. I've had a headache for a couple of days and it's been relatively mild and I think I have a sinus infection. Those are things that your primary care doctor can take care of in their office, those acute needs. And then, of course, your chronic medical problems, the primary care is the right setting for that. Urgent care and telehealth can fill that gap for some of those acute needs when your physician's schedule is booked up and you're not able to get in right away. But for a lot of those lesser acute needs, the emergency department is overkill. And unfortunately, you get saddled with a very large bill when you go there for those needs that could have been taken care of in other places.
Great. So your organization, Carelon Health, is sponsoring a National Check Your Meds Day. Tell us about that and when it is.
So National Check Your Meds Day is coming up on October 21st. And it's an opportunity to take advantage of the expertise of our pharmacists across the country. And so it's an opportunity to speak with a pharmacist, review your medication list, your over-the-counter meds as well, and see if there's any potential interactions or concerns or time of day you ought to be taking those meds, just to have that deeper conversation about the pharmaceuticals you're taking. They may advise you about whether to take it on an empty stomach, or perhaps it needs taken with a fatty meal. So they can have recommendations how to shrink the expense for all of your medications and really give you some recommendations to take back to your primary care provider.
Good. Thank you for that. That's a really helpful service. So what's the date on that again?
October 21st, next
Good.
Monday.
Great. Wonderful. So we've been talking with Dr. Gregory Whisman. He works for Carelon Health. He's the Chief Medical Officer. And if you want to learn more about Carelon Health, you go to carelonhealth.com, and let me spell that for you. It's C-A-R-E, like care, C-A-R-E-L-O-N Health, Carelon Health. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor.
Thanks so much for having me.
Good. And as we say at the end of every show, remember, go to health. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.